Hello friends, how are you guys today? I hope you guys are all having an amazing day so far. If you're not having an amazing day, I really hope that your day gets better from here on out. I hope you guys are having an amazing weekend. You're getting all the rest and you're spending time with your family and you're getting ready for another work week. But on this Sunday, I want to bring you guys another video because there is more going on with the JD versus AH case, and a couple more things have broken, and I want to share with you guys and let you guys know and keep you guys completely updated. But before we start the video, I want to say thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. I really hope that you enjoy the video, or you at least give it a chance. And if you guys are returning to my channel, thank you guys so much for returning to my channel. It really means a lot to me, and I really do appreciate it. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay guys, so I first want to start off this video by letting you guys know that JD had a huge win in Virginia a little while ago. We're just now hearing about it, so it's just now breaking, so I want to let you guys know immediately. But AH tried to get the case thrown out once again, but this time she used a law called the Anti-Slapp law, and she tried to use this to get it thrown out. So let's take a look and see what exactly is the Anti-Slapp. SLAPP is short for Strategic Lawsuit Against Public Participation. SLAPPs have become an all too common tool for intimidating and silencing criticism through expensive, baseless legal proceedings. That really reminds me actually of Gabby Hanna. Recently, a lot of kids, really teenagers, were dissatisfied with their membership of hers, so they made their own private Discord and were just talking about it with each other, how they were just not satisfied. And Gabby Hanna snuck into this private Discord and threatened all these kids with a lawsuit just for talking about her with each other, not even posting it. And even if they did post it, that would be fine. So that was their right to free speech. That was their First Amendment right to talk about how they feel, and she tried to silence them and threaten them with a lawsuit. So that's another video for a different time, but it reminds me of this. Anyway, anti-slapp laws are meant to provide a remedy to slap suits. Anti-slapp laws are intended to prevent people from using courts and potential threats of a lawsuit to intimidate people who are exercising their First Amendment rights. Yes. Okay, this one says anti-slapp laws are designed to provide for early dismissal of meritless lawsuits filed against people for the exercise of their First Amendment rights. Acronym SLAPP, we already talked about that. Down here it says anti-slapp statutes were proposed to provide a quick, effective, inexpensive mechanism to combat such suits. Anti-slapp laws enable those who are the subject of a slapp suit to seek early dismissal and oftentimes get their legal fees reimbursed as well. So if you're a big rich person, and just like Gabby Hanna, and you threaten those kids and you actually tried to sue those kids and they had to get a lawyer to defend themselves, well, these slapp laws will, or the anti-slapp laws will protect them, and then oftentimes the person who tried to sue them will have to pay for their lawyer and attorney fees as well. So this is the statute that AH recently tried to use to get the lawsuit thrown out. Now this kind of thing has actually happened before. I've actually seen it happen before. There have been cases before where someone did the exact same thing that AH did. They made up all of these claims, and they there was no evidence, no nothing except their word, and they spread all these claims all over the place and ruined the person's reputation, cost them jobs, blah blah blah. Pretty much the same exact thing. And then the person tried to sue them for defamation, and a judge decided that everything that they said was under free speech, and they just threw it out. So it has happened before. So that's what she tried to use to get this case thrown out. Okay, now this right here says this is the plaintiff / counterclaim defendant, and that is JD, and this the defendant slash counterclaim plaintiff is AH. So this matter came to be heard upon plaintiff slash counterclaim defendant's motion to deny the remainder of the defendant slash counterclaim plaintiff's plea in bar. So this is JD's motion to deny the remainder of AH's plea in bar, and AH's motion to schedule an evidentiary hearing before a jury on the remaining issue, the motion, and upon consideration of the briefs, exhibits, and arguments by counsel, it is hereby the statements made by AH in the op-ed published in the Washington Post are, as matter of law, regarding matters of public concern that would be protected under the First Amendment to the United States Constitution, made by that person that are communicated to a third party. Therefore, satisfying the first prong of public concern of the Anti-Slapp statute. And here's the Virginia Code. And so basically, it's really, really important. Like when I was like learning about this, because I'm not like a lawyer by any means, but when I was learning about this, it's really important to remember that the Anti-Slapp statute is a multi-prong law. So even if she met the first or whatever prong and didn't meet the second prong, then they wouldn't have to, she wouldn't get it. But the judge said that the first prong of this law, AH did meet that prong. So basically the statements that AH made in her op-ed about DV would be of public concern. So it does meet the first prong. Now the second prong, and this is the second prong, this is huge, and this is why the trial is allowed to continue. Number 2, the remaining issue on the immunity portion of the Anti-Slapp statute, whether AH made the statements with actual or constructive knowledge that they were false, or with reckless disregard for whether they were false, will be determined by a jury as part of the trial scheduled to commence on, and here's the new date, April 11th, 2022. So basically, if you say something that you know is not true, or you say something that you think might not be true, but you're not sure, and you just say it as fact without like confirming that it's fact, then that is not protected under the Anti-Slapp statute. And the part where it says it will be determined by a jury, that is a huge, huge thing. So now a jury can come in and they can hear all of this evidence, so they can determine whether or not they think what AH said was true or not. So they get to, and it's really important because last time, in my last video, or I think it was not the last one, but the complete story part 2, where I said that the trial was delayed 13 months, and that was a good thing because she was like stonewalling basic discovery, and yeah, she was sanctioned a bunch of times. Yeah, the judge was frustrated with her, but at the end of the day, the trial was gonna go on as planned, and basic discovery would have been cut off, and they wouldn't have been able to have that at all. So now the trial is 13 months from April 2021. There's a lot more evidence that came in that met discovery and will be heard. So the jury is going to be able to hear about the body cam footage. They're going to be able to hear her testimony where she testified that the apartment was in total disarray, and then they're going to be able to see the body cam footage, and they're going to be able to see all of those emails going back and forth with AH and the ACLU. So they're going to be able to see all of that. And if the trial would have happened in April, none of that would have been seen. So it's a really good thing. So this was AH's last, well, it wasn't her last one, but this was one of her attempts to get the trial thrown out, and she did not meet it. Almost, but thankfully she didn't meet, and the trial gets to go on. Okay guys, moving on. So in my last video, we went through all of the emails that we had access to that were leaked between AH and the ACLU about the op-ed. And because of those emails, AH has lost her attorney-client privilege. Now, because certain documents were sent to her legal team, and then her legal team sent them to her, and other people were seeing them, AH has actually lost her privilege to keep certain documents confidential. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Here it says defendants' objections to the 18 and 19 are overruled by asserting defense of counsel as an affirmative defense. Defendant waived her attorney-client privilege with respect to the op-ed issued in the complaint. Accordingly, her communications on that subject are not privileged, and defendant shall produce all communications to or from anyone, including but not limited to any of her legal counsel and or anyone associated with the ACLU relating in any way to the op-ed, and shall produce by no later than Friday, May 28th, all drafts of the op-ed and any and all other documents responsive for the numbers 18 and 19. Ouch! That has got to hurt for her, you guys. So AH completely lost her defense to keep any documents between her and the ACLU or her and her attorneys confidential. So she has to show all communications between her and them about this op-ed. So, yikes. And we've already seen several of these emails where they're talking about, oh, your marriage and the NDA. So we already know it's about, but I know there's a lot more emails as well that we haven't seen, and the jury is going to get to see all of those. So that's gotta hurt. But moving on. So I came across this article here. Let's go ahead and read it together. Right here it says AH will face multiple felony charges if she loses trial. What happened to all that money, AH? AH and her co-conspirators will face multiple felony charges if she loses her upcoming JD defamation trial in 2022. AH's attorney and the ACLU are frantically trying to get the defamation case dismissed before the trial because it will expose bigger felony crimes, which may result in more than just a US $50 million payout. There are no settling this one. JD's legal team are bringing out the big guns in this upcoming defamation AH trial that is set to take place in Virginia in April 2022. A source close to JD's attorney told us. They are going above and beyond to expose how the mainstream media went to great lengths to cover up AH's many crimes, which may include charity fraud and tax evasion. Although this is just a defamation case, this could result in a criminal prosecution. The evidence that JD's attorney wants to bring to the court could open up a Pandora's box and lead to the federal investigation, the source told us. Just like AH's perjury in the UK ended in a federal investigation by the Department of Agriculture in Australia, the evidence submitted into the Virginia courts next summer will most likely end in an FBI investigation into AH right here in the United States. JD will win. JD's legal team is very confident that they'll will the defamation. What? Right here it says that they'll will, I guess that's supposed to be win, so let's try that again. JD's legal team is very confident that they'll win the defamation case against AH next year, the source claims. And just like AH is trying to use the ruling from the wife blank libel trial to dismiss JD's defamation suit, the U.S. law enforcement could use the defamation trial evidence to persecute AH for her other crimes. The source continued, being found guilty of defamation is the least of AH's worries right now. She's looking at several major felony charges and could spend the next 5 years in prison. She'll be 40 when she gets out and her career will be over. 2 of the felonies could include charity fraud and tax evasion, rumors suggest. Adam Waldman exposed the 35-year-old actress for lying about donating the entirety of her divorce settlement, which amounted in the $7 million to charity. The actress testified in the UK court that she had donated that money. Had donated. And the ACLU and CHLA listed her as a donor on their official website despite being able to produce any kind of proof of transaction whatsoever. So the ACLU and Children's Hospital of Los Angeles have listed her as a donor on their website, even though they are not able to provide any kind of proof of transaction whatsoever. Why is the ACLU involved? Furthermore, it has come to light that the ACLU penned the slanderous article, Washington Post article on behalf of AH that JD is now suing for. The judge in the upcoming defamation trial has slammed both AH and the ACLU for wasting the court's time and not being transparent enough. The ACLU even tried to exploit the legal system by filing an amicus brief in an attempt to have the trial dismissed despite rules stipulating that the person directly involved with the case could not do so. So again, wasting the court's time, and the ACLU is trying to exploit the legal system, exploit the legal system and trying to help AH, but I don't think they're trying to help her. I think they're trying to help themselves because they know they're in some trouble too. JD's legal team fired back at the ACLU for not doing due diligence investigating AH's claims and taking her side without a single shred of evidence. AH and her legal team then tried to escalate matters to Judge Penny S. Ascaret, of Fairfax County, but her appeal to dismiss was yet again thrown out. However, the judge, I'll just say, of Fairfax County did grant her permission to make changes to her motion to dismiss, but said that her, quote, third attempt to dismiss would be futile, end quote. But also warned that if AH is found to have wasted the court's time, there will be legal repercussions for her in the form of sanctions, which I don't think she cares about because she had been sanctioned already several times and didn't really care. Signs of guilt. Why would anybody that spoke the truth be so concerned about being sued for defamation? And why would they be so desperate to dismiss the trial? According to our source, it's a sign of guilt. Quote, AH is guilty and there are a lot of people have been legally implicated because of her many lies. There's no settling this case. JD is on a warpath to clear his name. His reputation means more to him than money, and there's no amount of money that can convince him otherwise, end quote, the source revealed. AH's eagerness to dismiss this case is a huge sign of guilt. They need this trial thrown out, and they will throw the entire book at this trial to make that happen because this could expose so much more than just defamation. Just think about this. Why did the ACLU and the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles lie about donation? And why are they so desperately trying to help her out here? I'm sure a few federal agencies are interested in finding out where JD's and, let's say allegedly, the Rocket Man's money went. It's fact, not fiction, and it's certainly a felony, they concluded. Dang, this article is ruthless. But I'm not so sure that the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles is actually trying to help her out, because I know that the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles did not reply for a while because of the pandemic, and they were short-staffed and everything, but they ended up replying, and they ended up like telling the truth, like, no, she did not donate this money, because if they wouldn't have replied either, they would have gotten sued too, because JD had to actually sue the ACLU to get them to respond to his many subpoenas, because they were trying to not even respond. But the Children's Hospital did respond. And we also have this letter here that they sent to AH, and this right here is from the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, and this says, "Dear AH, I'm following up on the correspondence that Children's Hospital of Los Angeles Foundation received on August 26, 2016, which CHLA was notified by Edward White and Company that a $3.5 million pledge gift had been made on your honor. In the correspondence, see enclosure, it states, the first of multiple scheduled installments to honor the full amount of AH's $3.5 million pledge gift. Since the first installment, CHLA has not received further installments." And we do know that the first installment was $100,000, and that was given by JD in AH's name. So JD actually paid that. So AH hasn't paid anything to the Children's Hospital. I am inquiring if you have knowledge if CHLA should expect further installments on your behalf, or if the pledge will not be fulfilled. I appreciate any insights on this matter and can be reached at via direct line, blah blah blah. I don't think the Children's Hospital are like in on anything like the ACLU is, because they're actually like asking her like, hey man, where's that money that you promised? And they did get back with the subpoenas and say, no, she hasn't given us any money. But they did put her on their website as a donor without any transaction, but I don't think they meant that in a malicious way. They probably were like, $3.5 million pledge, and then they put it on their website as a, you know, as a pledge. But I'm sure they've taken it off now. We'll have to go, I'll check that out. One more thing I want to talk about is AH did ask the Virginia courts to adopt the verdict from the UK. So of course she has tried several times to get the courts to throw out this trial and just dismiss it, but she did try again, and Adam Waldman says that this is her last Hail Mary, and I don't think they're going to adopt the verdict from a different country. I mean, that's a different trial against a different person. It's against a news outlet in a different country, different trial. It's not even defamation. It's libel, which, I mean, it's kind of the same thing, but not really. And, I mean, I've seen people in the United States be able to have lawsuits in different states, the same lawsuit against the same person in different states, and they were able to have both trials even though it's, you know, they didn't adopt the verdict from the different state. They were allowed to have a fair trial in the other state. And I don't think that they would throw this trial out. I do think that he is going to be given a trial. He's finally going to get a fair trial. And I mean, after as many attempts as she has had, like trying to get everything thrown out, I really don't think that they're going to just throw it out and adopt the verdict from the UK, especially now that there's so much more evidence that has come out, and so it's going to be a completely different trial. But that is all I have for you guys today. Please let me know what you guys think about all of this. I love and respect all of your guys' thoughts and opinions, and I love hearing them, and I love discussing stuff with you guys, so please let me know what you guys think below. And if you guys have not subscribed to my channel yet, please do so. You know you want to. I would love to have you guys in the family. And if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate it, and it does help a lot. And until next time, you guys, in a world where you can be anything, please be kind to each other. Bye! Hi guys! So this is my daughter, and she wanted to come in and say hello to everybody before we end the video today. So say hi, Pumpkin!
Hi, I'm Mimi.
This is Mimi. So, something to do with the video. Mimi, if somebody is saying something mean about somebody else that's not true, Should they get in trouble for that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's not right, is it?
No.
That's not nice at all. You
No.
shouldn't say things about people that aren't true, right? Always be nice.
Yes. Always be kind.
Yes, exactly. Always be kind. Well, what do you want to say to everybody?
So, I really am really excited because I got to get in. And I want to do something right here. I just really want to show you how good I can color. I really want to go get my coloring book and my markers to show you. I really want to draw a house. So, I'm going to go get a sheet of paper.